Hello everyone, welcome to the 101% podcast where we talk about mindset, motivation, discipline, how to always push yourself, how to become a beast and how to defeat struggle. This podcast will help you to get a better life, that's 101% for sure. I'm your host Joakim and together with me is the co-host and my sister Annika. Welcome to this podcast. Good afternoon, Annika.
Good afternoon, my brother. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. What about you in southern Thailand in Phuket?
Yes, thank you. I'm all good. I'm having some recovery days now before my fight. I'll fight in 2 days. So today has just been a mental day, preparing mentally and visualizing the fight and just having some time of my own. So it's been very good.
Sounds great. Very important with visualize and be ready in your mind. I just see that you was on another podcast, Thomas Formo podcast. I did hear the episode on Friday when it come out. It was a very good episode. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, Thomas Formo was my head coach for all the years that I lived in Trondheim and was fighting MMA. He's a really great guy, a great fighter and coach, and a great human being that I really look up to. I've been on this podcast once before, like a year and a half ago. And now I went back as a guest again. We were talking about my future plans and our religious beliefs and mindset. So it was a really nice talk. I recommend everyone to go in and check out his podcast because it is really, really great.
Absolutely. Great podcast.
Thank you. How about you? How has your day been so far?
Yeah, it's been great. I did wake up at 4 o'clock this morning and tried to sleep at 5 o'clock. I couldn't sleep, so I did wake up, take my push-ups as always, a little bit breakfast, and did work for a couple of hours. It works on my other podcaster, see the way they talk and communicate. And some funny guys I also study, and see how they run their podcast. Then work about some technical things for a couple of hours. Then my daughter wake up and eat breakfast and talk with she. And after that, I did look a guy named Frank Løkke. He's a Norwegian guy, very tough guy, a real machine. And look a lot of inspirational video him have put out of himself. So he is a former handball player. I think he play around 186 matches for the Norwegian team, and he also have been 2 times in Mount Everest and 1 time in K2. K2 is a very dangerous K2 is a very dangerous mountain, and he also run a lot of marathons. And not so long time ago, him did boxing. He never boxed before, but him did boxing against a former MMA guy. So he's a real tough guy and a real machine. Him absolutely member in the 101% club with me and Annika. So I look a lot of video of him and it fired me a lot up. So that was my morning.
That is awesome. I wasn't sure if I was going to ask you how your day has been because in Norway it's very early still. But I asked you because I know you always deliver. You've gotten more out of your day already than most people here in Thailand, and we're 6 hours ahead of you.
Thank you for that. So everyone, subscribe and stay tuned for more inspiring content. And if this episode inspires you, share it to inspire someone else. Thank you. Okay, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Let's get started. Today, we will answer the last questions from our Q&A from our listeners. So, why 101%, Annika?
This is a question that we've gotten fairly often from our listeners, both on the survey that we had for this Q&A, but also other people reaching out. And we explained it a bit more in the first episode, but for me and Joakim, we have this personality, kind of like an addictive personality where we go 101% into everything we do. If not, we don't do it. So to us, this is kind of like a successful recipe that has helped us achieve the success that we have. It is a mindset and it is a way of life that makes you live on the extreme side of life. And I personally mean that that's when you get the best out of life. That's when you are mostly efficient with your time. You hustle more than you think were possible. You reach your goals. So 101% is, to me, everything. It is the recipe of life, and it is the purpose why we are here, so that you shall fulfill your dreams. Do you have something to add to it, Joakim?
I think the same as you. The question is why 100%, and I think why not? Because as you say, I totally agree. It worked for us. We get so much done, and we can achieve so much more. So when we are all in it, and always try to give our best, you get better results. So it's absolutely a great recipe, as you say, Annika, that's worked for us. Great way to live.
Definitely. And I once heard a quote that goes like this: if you shoot for the moon and you miss, you are among the stars. But if you shoot for the stars and you miss, you won't even be up in the sky. You might be on the top of a tree or something. So I think that you need to shoot really high. A 101% tells you that you need to give it more than everything. And that's when the inner voice of you keeps fueling your motivation, keeps sharing for you, keeps making you live life to the extreme and push yourself even harder. And I think that you owe it to yourself to go 101%, because if you have a goal and if you're honest with yourself and think, okay, I'll just go 70%, then you are kind of setting yourself up to fail. And you owe it to yourself to reach your goals and to give it your all.
Absolutely. You have to set a high standard for yourself. Why set low standard? You have to set it high because you will do it. You want to be the best version of yourself. You not want to be, I can be okay, a middle version of myself. It's good enough. No, it is not good enough, because you can do better. And when you do better, your life will become better.
Definitely. And there's another question here. You always sound so positive. Are you never negative?
For me, I will say, without the brag, I am almost never negative, because every day when I wake up, I can choose if I want to stay positive or if I want to stay negative, and I always choose to be positive, because the people around me deserve that I am positive, and I deserve it. I want to send out good energy around me, because it's much more funny for the people around me and for myself. This one I can choose, and I get a more funny and better life if I choose to be positive. Because if you're negative, it only drain myself, drag down other people as well. So negative is absolutely something you should avoid. And if someone say, I am negative, you is not negative. You have decided yourself to be it, and you have programmed yourself. But if you decide, okay, I'm gonna be positive, and you program yourself to be positive, you're gonna be a positive. Because, as we mentioned earlier, the only thing in your life you can control is your own mind. So you can control it.
Definitely. I agree 101%. I think that staying positive is a mindset, it is a choice. And I'm lucky because I feel that I'm wired in a positive way. And I see that when I start being negative, it's easy to fall into this downward spiral where my thoughts get very dark and negative, and they are absolutely a hinder to myself. When I am negative, nothing good comes out of it. If I go into a fight camp or a fight and I start breaking myself down, I will lose 100%. So it is very important to keep yourself positive. That will also be contagious to all the people around you. Sometimes someone walk into my life and they are like a dark cloud, and it feels like they just empty their trash on the people they meet. They just throw all of their garbage out, complaining about everything. And it is so heavy to listen to. You feel kind of drained. And I never want to be a person like that. So I try to stay positive, to bring myself up and bring other people up. And also, as we mentioned earlier in that episode, a lot of research on what divides the 1% from the other, like the real winners from the other competitors, is a positive mindset. When you wire your brain in a positive way, that's when you'll start achieving your goals. So it is extremely important for us as private people, but also as athletes, business people, everything.
Absolutely. So what are you passionate about is another question.
I'm very passionate about being the best version of myself. That's what it's all about. I think that's the reason we're here, to live life as good as we can in the right way, to inspire other people and to lift other people up. And to me, it is very important to not only do it for myself, but to do it for the people that I love. I really hope I can inspire people to do the right things in your lives and to be the best version of myself, to fuel the people that I love and care about and our listeners and everyone in the best possible way. And also social work is a very great passion for me that lies very close to my heart, and that is for the same reasons. I want to help other people feel good and be better. That is very important for me.
Absolutely.
How about you, Joakim?
For me, I am passionate about personal development. Yeah, always try to be the best version of myself. Training, exercise a lot is very important for me. Stay healthy, take good care of my health, and also live my life on my own terms. And our podcast business, and also I am passionate about traveling. That's my passion.
A listener is asking us, are you happy with where you are in life now?
For me, yeah, I am happy, but I'm not satisfied with my life yet. It is so much more I can achieve, and I can get my daughter's life and my life so much better. And it's so many things in my life I want to do, and so many things I want to have. So I will keep working every day to get my life better. I'm happy, but I know if I do what I have planned to do, I will be much more happy. So I'm not gonna settle down and say, okay, I'm happy, now everything is okay, because I'm not satisfied yet. It's so many things I want to get out of life. So I will keep working every day. What about you, Annika? Are you happy with where you are in life now?
I totally agree with what you're saying. I'm definitely happy and I'm so grateful. I'm very blessed for the life I'm living. So no complaints, but I as well, I'm not satisfied. So I will keep on working to reach my goals in all aspects of life, to keep the hustle up. So I won't slow down the pace, you know?
That's great. Keep going.
Thank you. And here's a very interesting question, actually. Will you recommend fighting to people?
I will recommend everyone to train some martial arts. It's a very good training. It's so good for your health, your body, and mind. And it's a great way to stay in shape. You not need to fight. You can just train, yeah? So it's not necessary that you fight, but I absolutely can recommend everyone to train martial arts. You get in very good shape, meet a lot of other people, and it's good for your mind because you have to think and learn so much. So it's one of the best training you can do.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say, Annika, about
For
this question?
sure. For sure. I think that martial arts is definitely the best way you can train. It will train your mentality, your physics, your technique. It will trains all aspects of you. And I definitely recommend it to everyone. It gives you discipline more than anything else I know in the world. And it works with all of the aspects of life. And a few years ago, I would answer yes to this question. Of course, I think everyone should fight because you should do it once in your life to really test your mentality. But honestly, I think now, after the experience I've had the last few years, that I would say that fighting is not for everybody. I've seen some people in the ring that shouldn't really be there. They don't have the mindset of a fighter. And it is very painful to watch that someone goes in there and they cannot control their fear, or they are knocked out in a very bad way, and you see them just like they're not ready for it. And I don't want to see that for anyone. So being a fighter demands so much out of you. It's the toughest sport in the world, without a doubt. There's nothing that can compare to it, in my opinion. So it's not for everybody. But if you're the 1%, if you want to test your mindset, if you are able to control your fear and you are able to push yourself beyond all limits, I definitely recommend having a fight just to try it, you know? And there's a question to you, my brother. Why did you start kickboxing as an adult? Do you have any martial art background?
I do not have any martial arts background before I start. And I was inspired by my little sister, Annika, to start doing kickboxing. Annika for the most, and a little bit also of Andrew Tate. And the reason I want to do it is because I want to always stay in very good shape. I want to challenge myself, learn something new, and also become good to protect my family and myself if I have to. I very enjoy it so much. It's very good training. It's funny, learn a lot. You have to push yourself, and it's hard and tough training. So I enjoy it a lot. Annika, when are you going pro?
I have already gone pro in Muay Thai. I've had 4 fights and 5 at the end of this week. Hopefully I'll go pro in MMA next year. We'll see what happens and where I'm at in my career. But that is my plan.
Excited to see that.
Thank you. It's a great journey, and I'm very glad that you take so much part in it.
Absolutely.
And a question for you. Do you want to have a fight at one point?
My life is so busy now, so I do not have time for any fight now. I fight from I wake up until I sleep every day, 7 days a week. So that's enough fighting. But we will see, yeah? Maybe in the future when I have more time. Maybe it will be some fight, but still not sure. So, Annika, why did you say your circle is getting smaller?
I said that because I feel like I don't focus that much on so many people anymore. Before I was a people's pleaser. I would always reach out to everyone. I would always invite everyone. I would spend so much time with everyone. But I think a lot has happened since I came here to Thailand alone. I was here alone for many months. And of course, I socialized with other fighters here that I met, and my best friend Shan that I was hanging a lot with. But that was it until my husband Karim came and became my husband. I was a lot on my own, and it just made me realize that it's good to be on my own. It's good to choose the circle, to choose the people that fuel my energy. So when I say that my circle is getting smaller, I understand that people ask. It's not to sound critical to people, but it's simply that life is so short and I'm super busy, so I don't have time to spend so much time with so many people anymore. And also I feel like at the point where I am in life, it is not so many people that share the same ambitions or focus. So it is not that many people that I communicate with about my ambitions and values and beliefs anymore, you know?
Understand.
Yes. So this is a very good one, Joakim. What are the most important values you're teaching your daughter?
I teach her that you have to be a good and a respectful person. Be a person people can trust. Be loyal. Stand up for yourself. And say what you mean and what you feel. Train and be healthy. Always work to become better on all areas. Work on your mind and body. And also enjoy life, laugh and joke and have fun. Annika, have you been scared before and during a fight?
Yeah, I have, especially in my amateur career as an MMA fighter, is the times where I've been most nervous before the fights, and also where I feel like I have frozen a bit inside the octagon. But something changed along the way. I was working a lot on my mentality, and especially after I came here to Thailand, as I have been taking big steps in the mental preparations and also in the performance in the ring. So then I have been nervous before the fights a lot, but mostly in a good way, excitement and nervous because I want to perform at my very best. And as soon as I've entered the ring and the fight has started, I haven't been scared. I have not been feeling any fear. And that has also helped me reach my full potential. I feel like I've given it my everything in the ring. So I'm very grateful. I don't know exactly what changed, but I think I just realized that it is kill or be killed. Either I stop fighting or I go in there and completely destroy the opponent. So there was a mentality switch along the way this last year, I would say.
That's great. Great mindset.
Thank you. And Joachim, are you worried that you'll tap into old habits when moving back to Pattaya?
No, I'm actually not. Because I feel I am very good prepared now. But I always hold my guard up, yeah? And never take something for granted. I still work on myself, and I have to keep remind me how my earlier life was when I live in Pattaya. I was there this summer when it was so funny to be there back again, yeah, and stay with my daughter and my mom and you and your husband and some other people in the family also. And we spent good time all day, very fun. And at the night time, I went out for myself, went out in the bars, and came home around 3-4 o'clock every evening, and slept for some hours. Wake up, went down to the beach road and take a run, and did training together with you and your husband. And it was so great, yeah. And wake up, not hangover, always feel in good shape, and so I get the best from the days and the best from the night. And it was so good to sit out in the bar, yeah, and sit there sober, yeah, and you see the madness, yeah, and you still was clear in your mind, and it was very funny. Go home, know what you have done, wake up next day full of energy, and so it was so good to be sober. It was a good feeling. So that was absolutely great. So that gave me even more motivation, and I have to think a lot about it and appreciate it a lot.
So I know that you're working a lot with your personal development, and I know that that helped you to stay sober. But are you doing something specifically to stay sober? Are you working with your 12 steps still, or are you doing something in your routines that specifically keep you sober?
I reflect a lot about how things has been before and how things are now. And when people started drinking again, they drink on their feelings. So you have to always have to analyze yourself, because you drink on many different feelings. It can be stress, it can be anger, it can be a thing you don't handle. It is many triggers. So I know my trigger. So I always try to slow down and think about that, and always remind myself of what I have to be careful about. And also I so thankful, grateful for I am sober. So it's a lot of things in my mind, yeah, I work about.
That is very good. Thank you for sharing that. And
Yeah.
here's another question. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Between you and me, guys, I actually is an introvert. And the difference between introvert and extrovert, when you stay around a lot of people, get a lot of energy. And if you are an introvert and when you stay around a lot of people, you get drained and you lose a lot of your energy. So if I stay around a lot of people, get drained, get tired. So it not give me energy, it take energy from me. So that's why I'm introvert. And what about you, Annika?
I used to be an extrovert before. It would give me so much energy to stay around people, but now I feel like it has switched. Now it drains me more than it fuels me, actually. And if Joakim, if money wasn't a factor, what would you do with your time?
I will take my daughter and travel around the world, live many different I will live many different places and experience so much. And I also would help poor children and children who have it difficult in life, make orphanage, as I talked about before, and also work to help people who have a problem with alcohol and narcotics. Try to make the life for people better. So that's what I'm gonna spend time with. And what about you, Annika?
I think I would just focus a lot on the same things I'm focusing on now, but I would never work for anyone else. I'd focus a lot on our podcast, on my fighting career, on starting businesses and focusing about the people that's closest to me. So mostly time freedom would give me a lot of time to do what I like the best. So I would never spend it on working for the Matrix, that's for sure. But I think my life would be a lot the same as it is now. Just a lot less stress on my shoulders, you know?
That's a great way to live your life.
So, how do you want to be remembered?
As a great father, that's the most important thing for me. And then also as a great son, brother, friend, and a great human being. And a very hardworking, driven man who did live an extraordinary life and did live my life on my own terms. And did take very good the people I care about and the people I loved. What about you, Annika?
That is a great answer, and mine is very similar. I think I want my legacy to be that I always gave it my everything. I always gave it 101% in everything I did. And I always made people feel better. And I want to educate people, inspire people, bring out the best in people, and kind of create this community where we thrive together and share for each other. And I want to be a good example. That's why I strive every day to become the best version of myself and to do things the right way, even if it's not easy, even if sometimes it might be the most difficult choice there is. But when it is the right choice, then that's what I will do. And hopefully, with my actions, I can inspire other people, and that will be rewarded in this life and in the afterlife. I think when you always try to do the right things, and to me it is very important to stay true to myself, stay true to my values, to know what my focus is and don't fall away from that, because then you would have double standards and it's confusing, and most of all you disappoint yourself. So to me it's very important to be strict and to do the right things, to not fall short of my own values and goals, to try to make myself proud. I think that I hold the standards so high, so it's difficult to be proud of myself. But when that is the fuel, then I'll always push myself very hard.
That's great. I just hear now a man who have interviewed a lot of people who lie in the deathbed and ask what is the thing they did regret most from their life, and the thing they most people regret the most was that they didn't dare to be the person they really would like to be. So that's I'm so happy to hear you have a lot of focus on that, Annika, and you really would like to be the person you want to be, and you live your core values. So that's great to hear.
Thank you. And that is a great story. I really appreciate you saying that, because I think when things are tough, we need to kind of switch to another perspective. And if we picture ourselves lying on the deathbed, we're 100 years old, and we look back at things, then the things that we're in the middle of right now maybe doesn't even seem important. We go through these things in our everyday life and we think that this is the world and this means everything. But if we view it from Annika, 100 years old, perspective, what would make me proud? So I think sometimes it helps us to look through those kind of eyes, and that will make it easier to take our decisions.
Absolutely. Because everyone are just here on borrowed time, yeah. If you would like to support this podcast with a small donation, so we can keep growing the show and make this podcast better for you guys, we have some donation link on our homepage, the 101percentpodcast.com. The percent sign you have to write with letters. You can donate with PayPal, debit and credit card. We have Vips for the Norwegian, Swedish, Denmark and Finland. And we also take crypto donation. And that have help us great, just some small donation, so we can keep making the shows better, yeah. We have to invest in training course, better editing, and always try to level up, yeah. We greatly appreciate all donation. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast. Okay, Annika, let's go.
All right, next up, what character traits do you most respect in other people?
Respect, loyalty, honesty, people I can trust and count on. What about you?
For sure, I think respect and loyalty and empathy are things that really stands out for me. And also I see that people that are fighters or Muslim people that are disciplined often inspire me a lot. So I think people that stay true to themselves, true to their own values, work hard on doing the right things, is what inspires me the most. Joakim, what is something surprisingly that you've learned about yourself?
After I start this podcast, yeah, before I didn't like to engage so much with people. I just like to live my own life and not engage. But after I start this podcast, yeah, I have discovered that I like to engage more and more with people, yeah. So that's been great after starting this podcast. So do you have a life motto, Annika?
I think it is just to give it my best, to always go a 101% into what I think is best, and always go 101% into keep educating myself, keep developing myself, and learning the best sides of life. What about you?
Live by the sword, die by the sword. No, I'm joking. That's not my motto. My motto is I'm gonna live my life on my own terms and be 101% in control of my own life and get as much out of life as possible.
What keeps Joakim up at night?
A gentleman never tells. It's a beautiful Thai lady on 155 centimeters high. She's so beautiful, a nice, beautiful smile, light brown skin, beautiful eyes, very charming, long hair, feminine, calm, and she is from Isan in northeast Thailand.
And what is the best advice a mentor ever gave you about this industry?
Just start.
Mm.
And that's for this business and also in life. Just start. It's so powerful, those two words. And what about you, Annika? What is the best advice a mentor gave you in your life?
Why not you? Why shouldn't I make it? What's so special about everyone else that I don't have that will make me not make it? So just have faith. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice one.
Joakim, when are you most productive?
From I wake up until I go sleep. Who do you consider to be your biggest competitor?
Definitely myself. The enemy within is my biggest competitor. So that's who I am working every day to slaughter. What about you?
Yeah, it's same. Me too. My biggest competitor is myself, because I not compete against anyone else, but only try to compete against myself and always beat myself, the version I was the day before.
There is an African proverb I heard many years ago that has stuck with me, and it goes like this: when there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. And that is so true for everything you do in life. If you're a fighter in the ring, if you're a businessman, if you're whatever you do, if you are friends with yourself inside your mind and you are sharing for yourself to succeed, it doesn't matter if the entire world goes against you.
Love this one.
I am struggling a bit to do what I want in this life. What is an advice you can give me?
You have to find out what you really, really want. Then you have to believe in yourself. Then you go for it and work as hard as you can to achieve your goal. I can. What do you will say about this question, Annika?
I definitely agree. Don't waste any time on things that doesn't matter. Don't focus on all the hinders or all your fears or all your excuses. Don't have this victim mentality, because it will get you nowhere. Fuel yourself. Have faith in yourself. Focus on your goals. Stay positive. Go out and work for it and really believe truly that you will make it.
So just a little reminder where you're gonna find us. It's still the 101% podcast.com. There you have to write the % sign with letter. Inside there you will find all the information and about us social media accounts. And our Instagram and Facebook is the 101% podcast, where you also have to write the % with letter. Today's episode was recorded November 13th, 2024. In the next episode, we will talk about addicted personalities. Then we are diving into the hidden traits of addicted personalities. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram on this podcast account, the 101% podcast. If you like this episode, make sure to share this podcast episode with a friend and review the show on Apple Podcast. Thank you to all the audience for listening. We appreciate you all a lot. Hope that you will come back and listen to our next episode. Until next time, take care and give it your best.